Wherever you are in the world, you are welcome. This is Dan Anderson, and I am very, very pleased to be here. If we have any issues with internet, and it has been going up and down a little bit today, I apologize for that in advance. But broadly speaking, we're back to our normal format here. Last week we did a special kind of Leocoin 3 thing there, and I hope that filled you all with excitement, because I'm very, very pleased with where we are now with going with that, because we're doing some very, very good technology work, and we kind of got a roadmap for it, and we're above our weight. We're building our community. All of these things are playing quite nicely now, because the future of Leocoin and the economy that we're building there, all of that, it relates to the size of community that we build with it. And so I'm still 100% convinced that our tactics and our strategy is right, that we build a community, and that's the added value that we can do. And then we have training that goes with that, so we can educate people on what this is and how to use it and what to do with it. So all of that is very, very cool. So that was last week. This week we're going to go through kind of more of a normal webinar with some news and some updates and things going on. And I'm going to finish the training at the end with a 3-slide training on clean up your mess. And you'll understand what I'm talking about when we get to that. But I look forward to doing that as well. Now, first off, we're having a number of events going on all over the world, and in the UK, Amir Balas and his team of other leaders are doing a fantastic job of running events and trainings every week, up and down the highways and byways, and just a good energy in the business. So all power to the UK. It's nice to see the home market building, and this is what we wanted for a long, long time. And it's just nice to see that the plan comes together when the time is right. They also came and visited us in the UK office, and much fun was had by all, and many photos were taken. It was literally a selfie and photo fest on every level, and you can see Andy Hansen there, and Mihir Magudia, and other people in the different offices that we have there. The UK office employs something like 45 people now, so there's quite a corporate machine around that, and it's always very nice for people to come and visit the UK office, because it's a very charming building, and it's kind of an old barn that's been converted, and we are arguably one of the largest tenants in there. We sort of share it with other companies, but we rent more offices than anyone else, and every 6 months or so we have to make another request to the landlord to get another office and another office, because we're just constantly expanding. So that's just very, very cool. But it's nice to share that every now and then with field leaders, and to show people what we're doing over there. And so that's what these photos here are about. So thank you to the UK staff for making everyone feel welcome, and thank you to the UK field for coming and checking us out. In the same week, last Friday, we had a very important visit to the UK office by representatives from the Federation of Pakistan's Chamber of Commerce, who were over in the UK for a Commonwealth financial summit. I don't know exactly what it was, but they were there for all week, and we were very, very pleased to make them welcome to the UK office. And we also had the DSAP there, the Direct Selling Association of Pakistan, came to visit our office, and Andy Hansen looked after our dignitaries and VIPs, and just nice to sort of have an international delegation from different countries in the world coming to the office. And I think that we're going to see more and more of that as we go forward. We're becoming more and more mature as an organization, and more kind of worth a visit, if you like, and I quite like that, because that's part of it. At the same time, we also have lots of community events going on out there in the world, and we're very, very grateful to all of you for sending us pictures of what you guys are up to. Our leader, Shi Qing Liu in Ningde, Fujian, which is in China, he did a class reunion and shared the experience of Leo with people, and I love the Chinese culture where everything is kind of geared around food and eating and drinking and campaign and sharing together. And all the pictures that come out of that show just this fantastic kind of joy, and they're always happy, and they're always kind of positive people. So I think that's very, very, very cool to see. And then we also had another event talking about the Leocoin and Leocoin merchant program, and the title translated into English from Chinese was a Leo merchant shopping circulation seminar, and I quite like that. That's a bit of a handful, an LMSC. But they're obviously educating people on how the Leocoin will work for merchants, and how to use Leocoin, and how you can pay for your bills with some of the platforms that are already available, and it's just very, very cool. We're starting to see more and more uses for Leocoin. And hauntingly, for those of you who are thinking, well, I'm in this country and we don't have anything like that, this is all created by the community. This is not created by the company. We support and we do everything we can to help, but fundamentally, the community makes these initiatives happen. So if you have an uncle who has a car showroom, you can lease a car through him, and you have to make that happen. If you have a supermarket somewhere, if you have a shopping mall somewhere, you can make that happen. If you have a restaurant in your hometown, you can make it happen. And I quite like that. I admire the Chinese community's passion for making these things happen, and they're really an example for everyone. Instead of sort of sitting down and waiting for everything to fall in their lap, they go out and they make it happen, which is very, very cool. Now, the business is part of what we do is we share what's happening on an international level, because we have an awfully widespread international community. This multicultural thing is something that I take very, very seriously, because it comes out of two things. One, the goals that we set up for the company in the beginning was that we will have a global business from day one, and that is what we are now manifesting, if you like. So we get sales every week from scores of countries, many countries, so by necessity, we are multicultural and international in our outlook, and therefore we kind of drive incentives and travel more than any other company of our size than I can think of. The second thing that this international and this travel thing comes from is from our values, which is that multicultural is a good thing. We are living in slightly crazy times when there's a little bit of a withdrawal from globalization, and there's kind of trade wars going on, and there's people who are wondering what multicultural is all about, and we believe that this is a good thing. So as a company, over the last 6 years, we have sent thousands and thousands and thousands of people all around the world, and the latest trip, the executive trip that we did on the 5th to 9th of October, was in Morocco. And there's a video that's up, and I know that you would have been emailed a link to this video. Go and check it out. It's one of the coolest videos that we've done. It's almost cinematic, and I have to say that the media team did a phenomenal job of it. And it kind of just shares Morocco from one perspective, and showing how our members enjoyed it and how our executives on this trip enjoyed it. And this is a very important part of what we're about. I think that you need to share videos like this with your prospects, because it'll tell them that we have a multicultural business better than any other thing that we could do. And what we are is rare, because we have Muslims sharing with Christians, sharing with atheists, sharing with Buddhists, sharing with every religion under the sun, from every continent of the world, from 200 countries in the world. We have Leo members, and that's again, I often talk about this, but it's important, because the world needs a counterpoint to what people can do when they come together and when they work together. If you have a large Leo network, you will automatically have people from different countries and cultures in your downline, and that is a good thing. You build a global business and you benefit your home country where you live, and the economy that you participate in will be strengthened by the international business that you build up, and this is something that I am incredibly passionate about. Now, so Morocco was that. The other thing that we're now finishing up is Brazil. We have Sellout Brazil, where we qualified all the rooms that we've had. There are no more rooms. But if you are an odd person, in other words, if you have an odd qualification, in other words, if you have an uneven amount of tickets, that means that if you qualified for one room, you have your room, and you can qualify a second person to share that room with you. If you have two, then not so much. This is for all the odd people, if you like. But three, and we have people that qualify for three, they could take an extra person into their second room. So this finishes on the 31st of October. That's another 9 days during which we have people pushing quite hard for qualifying up to bring with them an extra person, and all power to you. So that's the incentive that's running now. It's been probably the most successful incentive that we've done as a company, because it certainly had the biggest buy-in, and it's just great to see that you've engaged with it. Now, you have until the end of October to qualify, and then you have until the end of November to redeem your ticket and assign tickets to your guests. I know that some teams are qualifying extra people, and then they're going to do the room allocation according to who will be best off sharing with whom, sort of thing. So it's up to you to work that out for yourselves, because you will assign the tickets for your guests. And then you have until the 31st of December to print your ticket. And we are going to be very strict on this, because we are now getting to a size where we have so many people that we can't afford lastminute.com attitude. It's about growing up and becoming quite more mature in terms of how you approach your business. Don't leave it to the last minute. Do everything now. Do it instantly the minute that you can do it. When we open these things up, because if you start, for instance, to apply for your visa too late, then you will not get your visa, or if you're in certain countries. You need to make sure that you show income coming into your household, so that when you apply for your visa in a number of months' time, you can show that you are actually earning money, and that you are a proper corporate citizen, if you like, or a small entrepreneur, so that people don't suspect that you're going to leave your country and go and stay in another country. So you have to start acting like a successful entrepreneur before you are a successful entrepreneur, and stop being an idiot about it. Excuse my language, but it frustrates me, because the business will be as serious and as strong as you treat it. If you treat it like a £5 opportunity, it'll be a £5 opportunity. If you treat it like you've invested $1 million into it, it will be $1 million business as well. All of our leaders have this in common, that they took the business seriously, and they did everything they could to be professional, to work hard, and to look after basics. And part of this is making sure that you do the administration on your paperwork for the incentive right. Boom. So I'll leave that there. I just want to make that point. We are also traveling around the world doing live seminars as part of our thing, and we've been talking about Guadeloupe now for a few weeks. So on the 10th of November, Andy Hansen will be there, and very excited about that as well. I think that is Andy's first trip to Guadeloupe, and I was inspired when I went there and met our people, because they are the best people in the jewel of the Caribbean, the most beautiful island, I'm sure. Although probably every island says that about their island, but Guadeloupe is quite special, and the people that we have there are special, and they love training, and Andy will have such a good time there. If you have people anywhere near, get them to go to the live seminar. It's one of the best ways to show our business. Then we have the relatively new emerging market called Finland, and we have some fantastic people over there. I'm very, very much looking forward to this seminar on the 24th of November, and looking forward to support that myself, together with Magnus and Andy. So get your stuff sorted out, make sure that you're there, because Finland is a great market, and they're expanding all over the world, and especially eastwards from Finland, and that's quite nice to see. Now, the other thing that's going on is that as we're doing our business and as we're going along, we're also driving constant, never-ending PR and media stuff, which we share with you a small part of. We have PR agencies that work with us. We have Twitter feeds going on, and we have this, that, and the other. But I quite like to share with you just the positive environment that we're trying to build from the central corporate machine. So talkbusiness.co.uk is a thing about business and entrepreneurship, and we were referenced in this article here, 7 savvy things successful entrepreneurs do differently. They use their time wisely, they seize the moment, they never stop learning, they know how to focus, they look after themselves, they believe in themselves, and they see the bigger picture. This is the DNA of a Leo entrepreneur, which is what all of you are. So fantastic and good for you, because I love this quote that features in the article as well, that Henry Ford saying, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. One of the things about direct selling and about the Leo opportunity is that you can take and come from absolutely nothing and build something. It's almost magic, because this business does not require you to do crazy things, and it doesn't require you to mortgage your house. It requires you to do work and effort and attract like-minded people, and in the process of doing all of that, you sell products, and it's just a miracle of a business. And I'm so passionate about this. Since 1989, I've seen the direct selling industry for so many years. It's coming towards 40 years. Goodness. I've seen it change so many people's lives, and that's something that we should all be very, very proud to be part of. Nothing is perfect. There's challenges in our industry, and there's challenges in our business. We're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we are doing good work. Now, this sort of stuff that we're talking about in terms of PR, what we're talking about in terms of the halo effect that we're trying to create, we have a whole machine now that's ready for Leocoin 3. And we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're going to have the new merchant program, new wallets, new exchanges, new proof of stake mechanism, benefits and sales drivers for our members and for the community of Leocoin stakeholders. So we will have a story to go to media with, and that's being prepared up here now, because what we want to do is we want this to be the big push when we take Leocoin out of our community into building a much bigger community. And we have a lot of technology to talk about, we have a lot of philosophy to talk about, but we have, more than anything, we have a marketing approach that I think deserves to be heard. When there are so many scams out there doing crypto coins this and crypto coins that, if we can establish, and we are doing that very successfully with our coin that we launched in 2014. 4 years later, we're still here and we're still fighting strong. And I'm convinced that the path and the approach that we took to market is the right one, and we will build a mountain of a cryptocurrency that will be one of the wonders of the world. That's my sincere belief. Now, as we go into that, there's a Leocoin market service going on at the moment. I'm not going to go into the details here, but there are some kind of relaxed conditions around it to benefit people, to benefit our community, if you like. And that incentive will be ending soon, so make sure that you go online and check this out. The price of Leocoin is at an all-time record low level, which means that the amount of coins that people are getting, what have you, is very, very attractive. I am a firm believer that the potential that we have to raise the price of Leocoin by multiples is much higher than what's going on in the rest of the digital currency world. I'm obviously monitoring Bitcoin on a daily basis, and what's interesting there is that we're now at that crossover point where the price of Bitcoin has been stable now for a long while, but last year it was starting to explode into the $20,000 level. And does history repeat itself? Yeah, sometimes. But there's kind of memories in there of I bought Bitcoin at this price, and then it went up to this price, and then I sold or didn't sell. And so there's going to be, I think, some volatility around Bitcoin. And I think this is a very interesting time for us to be coming through with Leocoin 3. So if you are holding on to the DMS and looking at the LMS, I'm not quite sure what's the right approach. So it wouldn't be for me to caution you and advise you to do anything. But for a new entrant, it would be far better to take a punt on Leocoin than Bitcoin, because you're only going to get a sliver of a Bitcoin. Whereas with Leocoin, you can get a chunk of them. And if we are successful the way I feel that we'll be successful and that the community will support it, it could be a very interesting scenario. So the rank award incentive that we've got running on now, it's kind of interesting because we launched this thing back along, and it was fantastic, and people did fantastically well with it, and they pushed and they pushed and they pushed, and then we had a date for when that was going to be stopping, and we stopped it. And then people said, "Oof." But the rank awards that we are currently giving are still insanely high, and you can demonstrate and show that to people, that when you sell our products and you hit this rank and you get to this rank, you get this ownership award. That's Leocoin, and the Leocoin is based on external prices. It's a handsome award and reward, and we're looking at this in real time and analyzing and looking at the metrics around it. And I'm telling you now, this is the first time we're giving you an advance warning. We're not quite clear what the date should be, but this will not last for months and months and months. This will last for a few weeks, I think, because people are now pushing for qualifying out the last spaces onto Brazil. That's the next 9 days. And the other thing that's happening is that from the 1st of November, there'll be a very attractive incentive launch, which we'll launch on next Monday's GAM. And this is geared for the new people in our business to get to executive, and it's to do with 2 conferences that we're going to organize, one in Asia Pacific and one in the Dubai region. And I'm not allowed to tell you anything more than that because I would have to kill all of you. But basically, from the 1st of November, you will have the rank award incentive to help you drive with, but it won't last forever, and you need to catch the momentum of that, because it's the same old story as before. The early bird catches the worm. So I would suggest that if you're pushing to qualify for Brazil, by all means push hard to do that and get those people, because it will be a life-changing trip. But if you're part of our business and you want to take it to the next level, get yourself ready, get your teams ready, and from the 1st of November, it's all go, 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 go. Now, as a multicultural business and a global business, we are celebrating all sorts of holidays, more holidays than you can shake a stick at, and all power to all of the markets with all of these holidays. It's a fantastic thing. So we have stuff in Turkey, Ivory Coast, and the UAE. Republic Day, All Saints Day, National Peace Day, the day after the Prophet's birthday. And then in UAE, we have Mulud, the Prophet's birthday. And then we have Commemoration Day as well. And so these are the office closures. If you have interest in any of these countries, make a note of the dates so that you don't come a cropper. The other thing that's highly confusing every year is when British summer time ends. On the 28th of October, the clocks in the UK go back 1 hour, and it's always mayhem. It happens every year, and predictably, every year, it's a bit of confusion. So if you live in a country that does not observe daylight savings, you'll need to join 1 hour later for the webinar and for the GAM. We've done this many times now over the years, and every time that the clock switches over, there's the first GAM happens, and sometimes it's overfull of people, and sometimes it's totally empty because people got the hour wrong. European countries are unaffected, and then you have the different times for different markets there. But so that's happening on the 28th, and then in conclusion, call to action. Use the product packs to generate excitement. Investigate the new Leocoin market service, because conditions will be changing on that, and so you have sort of a last-minute opportunity there. Don't miss out on the Brazil incentive. Don't miss out, and make sure that you get ready for the 1st of November, because that will be very, very cool. Join us in Guadeloupe and Finland. Invite your contacts, and accept that the early bird gets the worm. And this is always true and always will be true. If you wait until everything is just perfect and the water temperature is just swell and the lifeboats are all around you before you jump, you'll never jump. You'll never do anything. Stop getting ready to get ready. Just do it, and just be ready for the 1st of November. and take action and move forward with your skills and your talent and your weaknesses and your strengths. Just move them forward with the strong points of Leo and the weak points of Leo. Just move forward. Nothing will ever be perfect, except the effort that you make should be perfect, because that's the thing that makes a difference. Now, I wanted to talk as we come to the end about just a little training on clean up your mess. As you know, I have two boys. They are 10 years old and 13 years old, and my responsibility as a parent is to teach them lessons for their life. I want them to become men, and I want them to understand a few basic things. It's a few basic things like the early bird gets the worm, that hard work beats anything, that talent is fine, but it's dedication and persistence that makes a difference. It's kind of life lessons like that I want my boys to have. I want them to enjoy education. I want them to think it's fun to learn. I want them to read books, all of these sort of things. But the fundamental thing that I want my boys to understand is that they have to clean up their mess. And the reason that this came up today is that my boys have these debit cards that are issued for children in the UK. It's a wonderful service, and you can put their weekly and monthly allowance into this debit card. And then the boys have my boys have a little MasterCard that they can use, and there's switches and settings, and I can allow them to use it for a cash point machine with their PIN code, or I can set them up to allow them for online spending. So the other week I was pitched for them to set up for online spending. And suddenly today I started to get notifications that your payment was declined, your son's payment card was declined because there was no balance. And I thought, hold on a minute, they've been getting an allowance into this for the last 10 months. That means that they have hundreds of pounds in there, or whatever the right number was, and suddenly it's down to zero. So what we discovered was that they have been using them to purchase things online for their favorite computer games, and it's gems, it's football packs, it's skins for their Fortnite character, whatever it is, and they spent all their allowance from the last 10 months on this stuff without asking for permission. So having taught them this lesson of clean up your own mess, it was a relatively easy conversation to say to them that, okay, so you've made a mistake. It's a severe mistake that you did behind our back, and you were tricky, and you didn't tell mommy and daddy what you were doing. What do you think the punishment should be in a world where you clean up your own mess? And they kind of swallowed, and they kind of looked sheepish, and they kind of said, I suppose we have to be banned. I suppose we have to not play computer games. For how long? And they came with themselves with the answer, and it's until the new year. After Christmas, they might get a computer game so they can play then. So for the next 2 or 3 months, they're not allowed to play computer games. They're not allowed to spend any money. They're all sorts of punishments that they dreamed up to clean up their own mess. Now, why am I doing this as a training at the tail end of our webinar here today? Well, in certain countries, we're seeing all sorts of creative games going on. It's not a huge problem, but it is almost. As a parent, I was disappointed with my boys, and as a leader of Leo, I was a little bit disappointed as well to see that people are still trying to beat the KYC process and create fake accounts. That won't work, because our KYC processes are robust, and there's account cancellation strategies, and there seems to be a bit of fake account creation going on in a couple of countries, and I'm not going to name them here, except to say that just because you live in a poor country doesn't mean that you should cheat. It's almost the opposite. And so clean up your own mess is to do with this philosophy that a child, when he or she wants to have fun, they get out all their toys and they have fun and they play. In the context of salespeople and networkers, the fun is an incentive. The fun is extra commissions. The fun is being able to sell the business easily. The fun is earning this cash. But After play, what has to happen for a child? If you're a responsible parent, you teach them to clean up their own mess. And if they don't, what happens then? There'll be consequences. Now, at the moment, there is no particular drama anywhere, but we are observing behaviors in the field that we think is just on the edge and what we don't like. And we are 100% committed to building a long-term business and making sure that people don't play hanky-panky with our business model. Because if someone comes into Leo, just listen to this. If someone comes into Leo and thinks he can abuse our business, he can oversell and overpromise, he can break our terms and conditions just so that he or she can earn a fast buck, then don't be surprised to find that your business becomes suspended and all of your assets gets reimbursed to the people that you played with too messily, if I put it that way. So just wanted to share that with you as leaders on this call, that compliance and legality and business ethics is not just something that we talk about in Leo, it's something that we do, because we started this business in 2012, and no matter at what level, when people cheat, when people play games, I will not stand for it. And I won't stand for it from business partners, I won't stand for it from shareholders, I won't stand for it from leaders in the field. If you're playing hanky-panky, we don't want that. Clean up your own mess. As a leader, you need to understand that sometimes people, I love this picture, sometimes people make a big mess that is difficult to clean up, and of course the parent has to come and help, and we will always do that. If people are genuinely have the genuine intention, we will always work with them, and we will always try to sort out their mistakes, if you like. But as a company, we have a responsibility to the wider membership. And if you have people in your downline that are doing really wrong things, let us know, and we will help you sort it out. And because sometimes the mess becomes really, really bad. And I can see that grinning boy there. He had no idea of the consequences of what he was doing. But we can't allow that as grown-ups, because we're not children anymore. We're not kids. We've all seen the benefit. We've all seen the consequences of people getting sucked into a hanky-panky business, getting sucked into the wrong way to do the business, doing things that harm people's best interest, and that's what we don't want to do. So just wanted to send that little signal out that we are looking at the business and we're making sure that we're protecting the business, because that's our responsibility. That's who we are as a company, and that's what we believe in. And we will stand here till our dying days fighting for that message. So this is Dan Anderson saying thank you very much indeed for your hard work, your commitment, for your attention this evening. I look forward to celebrating your success and seeing you out there somewhere in the world. So Dan Anderson, over and out.